Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Women's Rugby Show Weekly podcast with me, Sam, by the way. Back again for episode 27 of the pod. And the podcast that's going to be the first of two coming to your podcast feed, coming to YouTube this week, where we'll be talking to Linde van der Velden of the Netherlands and Cristina Blanco of Spain ahead of their massive clash in WXV3 this weekend. It's a really important game as obviously the qualification process from WXV3 is only two teams can qualify. The highest two qualifiers other than Fiji, and it's massive game for the Netherlands after their draw against Samoa last week. So we spoke to Cristina and Linde about the game, kind of how important WXV is for both nations, and also how much a World Cup qualification would mean as well. Just first of all, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. Just how are you enjoying Dubai so far?
Well, we are enjoying it as much as we can. We obviously been here last season as well, and we knew it was hard because of the heat. But yeah, we're just trying to make fun stuff in the team so we can actually enjoy it.
And obviously, starting WXV3 last weekend with a win over Madagascar, just how much of a different challenge was that? A team that you haven't really faced something like that before, potentially.
Yeah, so I think the biggest challenge in those type of games is like you need to be true to your game and you need to be like focused on your main goals and what you want to achieve in those tough games because you don't really know what they're going to bring to the game. You know it's going to be a physical game and you know it's going to be like a good battle, but you never know about like how much rugby they have or they have like good stars in the team. Um so we just like tried did our best and we went away with a good outcome.
And obviously, the points difference might be quite key for World Cup qualification, which is a big goal from WXV3. Just how proud of you with the team to kind of keep pushing for the full 80 minutes?
Yeah, it's quite amazing. It's quite amazing because our focus for this WSB3 tournament is to be as disciplined and a serious team. Like we want to perform in all three games, and we didn't really care, so to say, who we had in front. That we wanted to be true to ourselves, keep pushing, trying to do our best. And like you said, like points are quite important, so we try and make the most of all of the games we're going to have.
And obviously, Netherlands this weekend, a win would kind of almost all but qualify you for that World Cup, barring kind of disaster on the final day. Just how focused are you heading into this weekend?
Um, I think it's more or less same as last weekend. Like we want to perform as best as we can. Obviously, as you know, as you said, might get us straight away if we win this game, but we just want to keep being serious. We just want to keep doing our things positive and improve the things that we know we need to improve. We know it's going to be a tough game, but we're very focused. We're doing really good training sessions. We're getting away with like good feelings, good outcomes.
And obviously, Netherlands, a team you know a little bit better than Madagascar. Just has there been any focus on what Netherlands can do? Or is it all focusing on Spain?
You always do a little bit of both, no? You always watch videos, you always try to analyze as much as can so you are prepared as much as you can. But we've always had like a pretty big focus on our team and our positives and our strengths. So we want to just keep building those and try and use them against them.
And just kind of looking at your team, obviously there's yourself, Laura Delgado, Carmen, all playing it over in England. Just how important is that? Do you think that you have this kind of level of competition, and obviously some more players are starting to move over as well?
Yeah, I think it's quite nice and quite important to see that Spanish rugby is it's growing, as you said. Like now, last season we were three, but now we have Alba in Sharks and we have also Claudia in Harlequins. Um, but we also have loads of the girls in the French league, so we're starting to see how Spanish players are actually like good rugby players. I think you can see the improvement as soon as we go away, our rugby improves. And yeah, I think it's quite nice to just like see that rugby growing.
Do you see the difference on the pitch when you're playing for Spain that these players have been improving like year on year?
Go again?
Do you kind of see the improvement on the pitch that these players have been getting better since being playing in the French leagues and the English leagues?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Um, I know that the Spanish league is not like there yet. It's growing and still, but the physicality of the English league and the French league, I think that makes a massive difference. You can see like in the contact, in the how you carry the ball, you can see those improvements easier than other improvements that are done as well. But I think those ones will be the main ones for me.
And just how important is WXV for Spain that you're getting this level of competition regularly year on year now?
Yeah, I think it's quite nice to have this type of competition now, not just for us, because we kind of get some games with the European Cup and some test match that we can arrange. But like for other nations as well, like uh, Madagascar in this case, last year was Kenya. But I think like it's going to grow the rugby in other countries that they didn't have this um that you couldn't really see how they play or you couldn't really see the players and they have quite a few nice players as well in those countries.
And not to get too far ahead, obviously after this weekend, but just how important for Spanish rugby would qualifying for the World Cup next year be?
I think it will be as important as to every nation would be, right? Like I think it's like a big goal. Like we were chatting the other day, like in 15, in rugby 15 is like the goal. There is nothing above that because there's no Olympic Games or anything in 15s, but it's like everything you want to achieve. So I think it's just same as everyone else. Like we're not any different. Like in goals, England wants to qualify for the World Cup. France, we want to qualify for the World Cup. So do we. So it's been a while since we haven't been playing in the World Cup, but it will be quite a big achievement for us.
And how proud would it make you to kind of be one of the leaders in the team, kind of guiding your country to that World Cup stage?
Um, I mean, it will be it will be great. It will be like a massive achievement, but not for me, just for the group. Like I know how hard we train. I know how hard when we are here, when we come together, but we don't really have that amount of time together as it other countries can have. So the work that we do at home, the work that we do in our clubs, in our spare time, that's what I am proud already of the girls. Like it doesn't matter if we qualify or we don't qualify, like that feeling of being proud of us is going to still be there.
And just finally, obviously, your club team, Ealing, start their season on Saturday. You're going to be able to try and catch the result and try and get a watch of a little bit of it.
Yeah, I'm going to try, but I think I'm not going to be able to watch it because we can really use our phones once we start in the changing room. So I think the time differences is not going to work for me because I think they start at 2, 2:30. We start at 8:30, so I don't think it's going to make much of it. I will 100% catch it later.
Perfect. So just thank you so much for chatting to us today and best of luck for the weekend and then going forward in the rest of the competition.
Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you for reaching out.
So just first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us today. Just how are you and how are you finding Dubai so far?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Dubai has been amazing. It's very hot. I must say we're trying to adjust to the heat, but yeah, it's very different than home. So it's definitely very hot at training, especially during the day. But no, we're doing well, and yeah, we had a good result against Samoa. So yeah, we're looking forward to the Spain game this weekend.
And just on that Samoa game, just how nervous were you in those kind of last couple of minutes? Obviously, when the try went over and then that charge down conversion.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, I think it was like the second half. The first half we felt very confident, and then I think when we got into the second half, we made some errors and we let them back into the game. And then I think the last 15 minutes they were so tough, and I feel like that they got a lot more energy, and I think we struggled with that. And then we felt like they were gonna score, and we tried everything we could to stop it. But I think everybody that watched the game kind of saw it coming, I guess. And then Lieve doing the charge down. I remember I probably was on my knees in the try zone still at that point. But yeah, I think that just really shows like the heart and that we have for each other, and like playing for our country, is that like even though the game was actually over and we probably would have lost, yeah, she still steps up and just goes for it, and yeah, made the charge down. Is just yeah, an amazing end.
And obviously, Spain this weekend, a team you know probably a lot more well than the other teams in WXV3. Just how important is this weekend kind of on the grander stage of what hopefully you're going to be pushing for next year in the World Cup?
Yeah, so like obviously we know Spain quite well. We play them every year. I would say yeah, is the word, our track record isn't the best against Spain, but I think it's more important to look at the progress we have made like in the last year, especially against them. Yeah, the game is very important. I mean, there's only 2 tickets to the World Cup left, and like realistically, there's 5 teams going for that. And right now, yeah, with the tie against Samoa, we put ourselves in a more difficult spot to qualify for it, and we know that. But yeah, realistically, we need to win the game because otherwise we're in a very difficult spot, you know. And it already depends on what Samoa then would do against Fiji, for example. So I think right now we put that behind us, and it's like it's a draw. There's still a chance for us, and right now all we can do is just focus on the Spain game, do everything we can, and yeah, hopefully win the game and have a positive end. But yeah, right now we're just really focusing on that game and see what we can do. But I feel like we all really believe in it. We have such a talented group. I think when I look at the prep we used to have before Spain games, is very different than the prep we are having now. We're a lot more together, and I think the last game at the top of my head was 22-5 that we lost, and the second half we won the half actually. So like it was 0-5, I think. So it just shows that yeah, there's definitely opportunity there, and we're just gonna give it our all and see what happens.
And just kind of how important is WXV for Netherlands rugby going forward? Obviously, the first time qualifying for it and getting that regular game time against kind of different nationalities. Just how important is it for the growth of the game in the Netherlands?
Yeah, it's so important. Like I think that's been one of the main problems we've had is game time. Like um it was difficult for us to find games or teams to play against, also because we have not that much funding, so it's difficult to just ask people to fly over to our country and play us, you know. So we have the European games, but there's also a lot of how do you say that, level difference in that competition. So now getting the opportunity to like it's multiple factors, I think. So it's like you're playing different countries that have different types of playing styles and are different levels, but also you're in turn for 3 weeks together training. I think for a lot of international teams that's normal, but for us it's not. Like even when we were preparing for this tournament for WXV, we had 2 blocks of 8 weeks where we were training 4 times a week together, so 3 times during the week and a Saturday. But we were doing that on top of our full-time job or full-time study. So people were driving to Amsterdam. I guess we're lucky our country is so small. So the furthest someone had to drive was, I think, an hour and a half or 2 hours. But we would do that at the end of a full-time working day, drive to Amsterdam, train, drive home, and the next day you would be back in the office. So like for us, just being able to be together the whole time is just not just good for like our development as players, but also for our team culture, for so many levels. So I think that also is a big factor why WXV has been so good for us. And we definitely reached also, how do you say that, more connection, or the fan base in the Netherlands. Like the game against Samoa was broadcasted on our national TV for the first time in history. So like we've had men's games broadcasted, but we've never had a women's rugby game broadcasted on national TV. So that happening for the first time is just amazing. And they're gonna follow the other two games as well. So we're hoping to also inspire like more people at home to, well, watch the game or follow the game or even play the game, like. So I think, those are some amazing steps as well that are happening next to hopefully qualifying for the World Cup.
And just kind of looking forward, obviously, all the stuff you mentioned there is just only going to help grow the game. But where do you kind of want Netherlands rugby to be in, say, 2 or 3 years' time?
That's a good question, actually. Like, obviously, I hope we qualify and we would be at the World Cup, and that would help in those 2-3 years. But yeah, I hope like so we are part of Rugby Europe, the international games, and hopefully that can develop to maybe more European games or like a home and away game, so we get more games. Because right now, or this year it was 3, but there's been loads of years that we only would have 2 international European games. And because we weren't really able to find more test games ourselves, we would just play 2 games a year. And I think, first of all, that would be a very good for not just the playing time, but also for the program. Because like you can train a lot, but you need to put it into practice to develop further. And then also with our under 18, they're doing really well. And I think in the next 2-3 years, hopefully them having like more international games or a tournament would be really good for their development. Because we have girls coming through under 18 now. Like there's 2 girls from under 18 with us now. They're actually both playing on the weekend. And you can just see the development they made at a younger age, and how like our academy system, everything is slowly paying off. So if we can get more girls through our pathways and then have more exciting games for under 16, under 18s, that would help a lot for, the building factors for our future.
And just finally, obviously, you don't know where the qualification is going to go for next year, but playing in England, you kind of feel the buzz ahead of the tournament. Obviously, it was announced a couple of weeks ago about how many tickets have been sold already. Just do you kind of feel that buzz kind of being around rugby in England?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the game has grown so much from like I moved there at the start of when was it? I moved there in 2019 at the top of my head. That's when Chief started. And if you see the difference between then to now, it's like the game has grown so much. And you can also notice it in the Netherlands with our fan base. But like now with the World Cup coming, it being at home, and like there's so many locations in England where you can watch it. So you hear everybody talking about it, and that also makes it exciting. Not just like you want to be part of it, but you also want to watch it. You want to be there and experience it. And I think it really shows like how that we're making steps, we're making progression in women's rugby, and that's really exciting to be part of it as well.
Perfect. So thank you so much for chatting to us today, and best of luck for the weekend.
Thank you so much. No worries.